The opioid crisis is ravaging our community. Since our series aired last week, dozens more families have buried loved ones, including a death in Cleveland County.
Jonathan Ledbetter died after a fentanyl overdose last week. He was only 19 years old. His family invited our Sarah Blake Morgan in during their darkest moments of their lives. Sarah Blake, explain why.
Well, that's a good question, Maureen. 2 days ago, I stood in a church in front of a closed casket with Joel Ledbetter. The funeral director walked over and Joel asked him to open it up. He then turned to me and said, "This is my boy." What you're about to see is upsetting and raw, and if you have children with you, you may want to ask them to leave the room. But Jonathan Ledbetter's family thinks it's important to show the reality of addiction.
I've thought all through my life, how could somebody bury their own child? And I always told myself that if he went before me, I was close behind him if I had to do it myself.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to watch a piece of your heart stop beating, here it is.
Thank you for being here to support this family as we remember Jonathan.
24 hours after a Cleveland County church sanctuary filled with stories.
2 hours later, he'd still be praying for God to help him with this.
And palpable sadness.
See, those of us who have never fought drug addiction can never know the struggles of one who has.
Jonathan Ledbetter's family filled up a table to tell you how his story ends.
I'm just glad that God took it in his hands to relieve him, but I am so sorry.
The 19-year-old struggled with addiction for years. His family did what they could and now look back wondering if they missed something.
And I know that by my not knowing what I was dealing with and not knowing what I was looking at, that I aided and abetted him in buying some of these drugs, maybe even the ones that killed him.
Jonathan wanted to get better.
He spent that whole week working on his application to get in rehab and running around telling everybody, "I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better, I love you."
That was Monday.
When I woke up and I heard it go off, my pager go off, and I heard him say the address and that it was a 19-year-old male, I automatically knew who it was.
These are the firefighters who responded Tuesday morning when Joel found his son face down in his pillow after overdosing on fentanyl patches.
For me, it was the worst call I've ever answered, and I don't want to go back and have to deal with it again.
Tragedy is a part of a firefighter's job, but the people they help aren't usually one of their own.
We all knew Jonathan's struggles, but I don't think that we quite knew the depth of them.
Jonathan was a Shanghai volunteer firefighter, just like his father and grandfather before him, until his opioid addiction forced him to step away.
A little bit over a week ago that he walked up to me and told me that he wanted to get clean and he wanted to get back in the fire department with us.
After 4 days on life support, Jonathan died on Friday. But this family believes his book will never truly be closed.
If I can help one of them, it's not a lost cause if I spend a lifetime doing it. And that's why I want the story out.
Extremely powerful, very powerful story.
And they wanted you to show that, and we typically do not show, obviously, people who are dead on television, but this was their wish. The family wanted it out there.
And that was a conversation we had in our newsroom. Should we do this? And the family said over and over again that they want you to see this so that it doesn't happen to someone else.
Yeah, very powerful, as I said, no question.
Oh, it's just devastating.
Well, after his death, the Shanghai Volunteer Fire Department voted to make Jonathan a lifetime member. If you missed our 6-part docu-series, Inside the Opioid Crisis, it's streaming on WVTV.com/onassignment right now.